Good morning, beautiful, beautiful people. It's a sunny Friday morning. I'm eating a bagel. I just lost my job and I want to talk about the failures of capitalism. This should serve as an educational general overview of the economic theory itself, its plethora of shortcomings, and its inevitable downfall. I would like to also provide a historical summary of past failures and how they've impacted the modern economic situation in the Western world. I will delve briefly into the imperial periphery and the exploitation of such by the imperial core, but I will save the majority of that topic for a future video. Before we begin, this video is, unfortunately, not sponsored nor monetized. So please consider subscribing, and if you're of rich bourgeois decadence, please do buy me a beer via Cash App. Firstly, the idea of capitalism is an economic system where the means of production, such as factories, machines, and land, are privately owned and operated for profit by the capitalists. Things such as prices, production, and distribution of goods and services are determined by the capitalist idea of supply and demand in supposedly competitive markets. The primary goal of these businesses is to generate continued profit, which leads to a destructive track in which infinite growth is expected from finite resources or full markets. The very nature of a capitalist system is that it leads to overproduction, hence the up and down cycle. The only people who have the financial means to survive this cycle are the rich capitalist elite. This is evidenced in recent history with the 2008 financial crisis. Millions of working-class people were left destitute, whilst the system protected those who it is designed to protect, the few at the top. Those who defend capitalism often point to periods of economic growth and prosperity, but what is often the reality is that most working-class people don't really see a marked improvement in their material conditions during these periods. The capitalists with vast amounts of wealth see large improvement, but not the median worker. But in times of economic upheaval, it is the working class who suffer the most. I would like to now highlight a few things that I see as the main flaws of the capitalist system. Firstly, wealth and income disparities are significant, with a small elite controlling a disproportionate share of resources while many struggle to meet basic needs. Second, the pursuit of profit often leads to poor working conditions, low wages, and job insecurity for workers. Third, the focus on short-term profits leads to the overexploitation of natural resources, pollution, and environmental harm. Fourth, large corporations often dominate markets, stifling competition and innovation while driving up prices for consumers. Fifth, what I see as most egregious, access to essential services like healthcare and education is often based on the ability to pay, leading to significant disparities. And finally, once again, capitalist economies experience cycles of boom and bust, resulting in economic recessions and financial crises that cause widespread hardship. All of this leads me to the point of this video. While capitalism has driven economic progress, its failures necessitate a rethinking of how economies should be structured. Market socialists like myself advocate for the following. Social ownership. Key industries and resources should be owned collectively or by the state, ensuring that profits benefit society as a whole rather than a select few. Democratic control. Workers and communities should have a say in economic decision-making processes, promoting fairness and reducing exploitation. Balanced markets. Combining the efficiency of markets with social ownership and democratic planning can create a more equitable and sustainable economic system. Achieving this market socialist system requires a combination of policy reforms, institutional changes, and grassroots initiatives. Here's a step-by-step guide on how we could transition from a predominantly capitalist system to a market socialist one. We can first promote and support the establishment of worker-owned cooperatives. Governments can provide grants, low-interest loans, and technical assistance to help workers form and maintain these cooperatives. Next, we would need to force businesses to adopt employee stock ownership plans, ESOPs, which allow workers to gain ownership stakes in their companies. The next steps involve getting socialist leaders elected to public office. Once that has been achieved, we would need to begin to nationalize key industries, such as utilities, healthcare, and transportation, to ensure they operate in the public interest. These sectors can be managed democratically with input from workers and consumers. Next, we would implement progressive income and wealth taxes to reduce inequality and fund public services. Taxes on financial transactions and capital gains can also curb speculative activities. This would lead to essential services such as healthcare, education, and housing universally becoming free at the point of use. This ensures equal access and reduces dependence on private providers. We would need to decentralize political power by empowering local governments and communities to make decisions about their economic and social development. We can't forget the need to enforce strong labor laws that guarantee the right to organize, collective bargaining, and safe working conditions. Next, we turn to localized efforts. We would encourage the formation of local cooperatives that address community needs, such as food co-ops, housing co-ops, and renewable energy co-ops. Also would come building networks of solidarity economies, where cooperatives and social enterprises collaborate, trade, and support each other. In the immediate future, this means raising awareness about the benefits of market socialism through education campaigns, media, and public discussions. It's important to also provide training and education programs for workers on cooperative management, democratic governance, and financial literacy. Transitioning to a market socialist system is a complex and multifaceted process that requires coordinated efforts at multiple levels of society. By implementing policy reforms, instituting democratic governance, supporting grassroots initiatives, and fostering international solidarity, we can create an economy that balances the efficiency of markets with the principles of social ownership, democratic control, and equitable distribution. This approach not only addresses the failures of capitalism, but also paves the way for a more just, sustainable, and inclusive society. Remember, we have to achieve this together.